Hi everyone, Elaine Ouyang here, and today I would like to talk about tensions in our body and the stories that they tell. We all have some form of tension in our body, whether from sitting for a long time in front of the desk and computer, sitting in the car for long periods of time, or maybe you have a repetitive motion from your work, or maybe an exercise or sports that you do that causes tension in the body. Today I'm talking about a different kind of tension, the kind that you may be familiar with, the really deep-seated, really deeply ingrained tension that no matter how much you stretch or how many times you get a massage, you still feel like it's there and stuck. They may feel for a temporary amount of time to be better and more relaxed, but after a few days or maybe a week or two, you feel the tension creeping back up to you again. It can also be a tension that feels like no matter how much you stretch, you can't quite get into it because of how deep they are. So what's up with these really deeply ingrained and resistant layers of tensions? There might be a deeper root cause to it, something that goes way back, years, decades back, maybe even into your childhood. A stress response that wasn't properly resolved or processed through that causes the tension to stay stuck in your body. Every time you interface with stress, whether that's low level or extreme threatened level of stress, your body goes into the fight or flight mode where everything tenses up. And not just the muscles around your periphery and your arms or legs to prepare you to fight or run away, but also the deep spinal muscles that go along your spine, including into your pelvis and tailbone. And when these muscles along the spinal column tighten up, it can create a host of different problems. Not only do these tight muscles can start to impinge on some of the nerves that communicate with your internal organs, it can also create pain, physical pain, and imbalance in your muscular structure, creating things like curvature in your spine, like scoliosis, or even compressing of your disc, for example, herniated disc and bulging discs. Not to say that all the tension in your body that you feel are caused by certain stressors in the past, but it is worth investigating, especially if you find these pain points continue to arise time and time again, even though each time you feel like you've resolved it, but they come back once again. And they're returning because you haven't quite gotten to the root cause of it. So let's use an example. Let's say you have an important project and the deadline is soon coming up. And all of a sudden you're having GI issues, you can't really digest the food that you're consuming, and you're getting a lot of pain in your digestive tract. And you might attribute this to just having the stress from having a lot of pressure from your team or your boss to complete this project. But if you were to sit with it for a moment, sometimes you'll have memories that come back. Perhaps as a child, you were scolded badly or punished severely for not finishing your homework or finishing a project in time. And so it slowly developed into the stress response where when you have a deadline, maybe your body is responding and reacting to it by this kind of gut-wrenching sensation because you have this deep-seated conditioned fear of being scolded or being punished for not meeting the deadline. Now, over time, over several years and decades into adulthood, this stomach-wrenching feeling might actually cause imbalances in your GI tract. So if you do have these kind of tension, pain, discomfort that at first you just brush aside as something that because you're aging or because you ate something bad or because you're having higher levels of stress around the home and your family or at work, sure, these can all contribute, but you can take time to dive into the deeper layers of it too. Most of the time, these recurring pain points keep coming up because it has accumulated for so long over the years, and it usually has its source and it starts from something a little while back. So how do you even go about starting with this? You can start with the newer layer of tension first. For example, you might feel some tension in your shoulders and neck after a long day at work. Maybe there is a project that you are trying to complete and meet the deadline of. And so at the end of the day, you sit down, you notice this tension, and you really have to go quiet and go internally into yourself, kind of mapping your body, tracking through the inventory of your body. Inquire what is causing this stress response of your shoulders tightening up and becoming cramped up. Oh, I had this stressful meeting today where I have to deal with some difficult clients or customers, or I have this deadline coming up and I feel very unprepared. And that's causing this tension to build up. So that's kind of starting at the surface level of honing your muscle of intuiting what's happening with this tension and kind of drawing out the story of each tension layer. Over time, you'll be able to go a little deeper and deeper into the older, more stubborn layers of the tension. And it could still be in your shoulders. It might be one layer off, and then you keep peeling back the layers of the onion until you get to the core of it and understand why you tend to have this response of gripping through your shoulders or gripping in your lower back in the first place. Now, the next thing, once you've uncovered what's creating this stress response in your body, ask and inquire within yourself, what can I do right now to help nurture myself and nurture my body so that it feels once again safe? Sometimes when these stress responses arise, your mind might lose track of time and place. It's reliving, in a way, of that stressful situation. So it's helpful to bring yourself back into the present moment and even bring your arms around you, hold yourself, look around, and just remind yourself that you're not in that stressful situation anymore, that you are here. And even if it is a problem that is yet to be resolved, maybe it's an ongoing problem, you can still remind yourself that right now, I'm here in this room, I'm holding myself. For now, I am in a safe place. What do I need right now to give myself this sense of safety and nurture? So I would love for you to try this for yourself and start to inquire each layer of tension in your body or even in your mind as something that has a story to tell you, a story that's been untold. I would love to hear from you what you think of this contemplative practice and experiment for yourself. Feel free to share your experience in the comments below or contact me directly, and my contact info is below. And if you'd like more tools in your pocket to help you with these health challenges using yoga therapy and mindfulness, you can sign up for my newsletter over at elaineyoga.com/melt. And when you sign up, you get a really neat guided breathing practice to help you relieve stress. That's it from me today. I will see you next time.